Happy Friday. You're watching Golden State Warriors today by Chat Sports. I'm Chase Sr. Here's what we have cooking up on today's show. Warriors take a commanding 3-0 lead against the Denver Nuggets, in which the Super Splash Bros went off and were absolutely phenomenal in the victory effort. Should the Warriors re-sign Gary Payton II and Kevon Looney? Both are free agents this offseason, and both are very, very important to this Warriors roster. First, make sure you subscribe to the channel. We are closing in on 29,000 subscribers. If you want multiple videos per week that are free, not behind a paywall, covering all things Warriors news and rumors, just hit that red subscribe button below me. So final score last night in Denver, Mile High City, 118-113. And really, the Warriors were so good in this basketball game on both ends of the floor. Jordan Poole going off for 27 points, 3 rebounds, 3 dimes. Steph Curry, back-to-back games in which he was great. 27 points, 3 rebounds, and 6 dimes for him. Klay Thompson contributed greatly with 26 points. And while the Joker was able to go off for 37, 18, and 5, really nobody else on that Denver Nuggets team had injected any fear into the Golden State Warriors. And I have to give a shout out to Draymond Green for putting the Joker in the guts of the game in straight up lockdown mode. Draymond Green throughout this entire series on Nikola Jokic has been masterful, and he was masterful last night. Jokic might have the size advantage. He might have the weight advantage. He might be on his way to back-to-back MVPs. But Draymond Green after the game said it best. Not everybody is built for the playoffs. You know who's built for the playoffs? It's Draymond Green, who continues to be stellar for this Warriors basketball team. I thought the Nuggets really gave the Warriors their best shot in this series. And in Game 3, while giving the Warriors their biggest punch, they still lost the game because of the ability for the Warriors to really close this game out. And the Super Splash Bros, they had it going on from all 3 levels, knocking down shots from everywhere, able to flip the momentum in that game. But really, I thought the biggest takeaway, Draymond, when the Nuggets wanted to go to the Joker at the end of the game to try to close the gap to 2-1 in this series, he had him clamped. If you think the Warriors will pull off the sweep, let me know by hitting that thumbs up icon and liking the video. All of you should hit that thumbs up icon because I think the Warriors are just too good for Denver. I'm sure hitting that like button right now. The Super Splash Bros, that's what we have to deem this team as now, and the trio of Jordan Poole, Steph Curry, and Klay Thompson. They have played sensational basketball all throughout the playoffs, and it's been on display the first 3 games of this series. And the efforts by Poole, Curry, Klay Thompson now have the Warriors as the NBA title favorites at plus 300 odds. You take a look at what each of the Super Splash Bros were able to do on Thursday night against the Nuggets. They were great. They were unstoppable. And once again, they had the Nuggets speechless on that sideline and on the floor. 27 points for Poole, 9 of 13 from the floor, 3 of 5 from beyond the arc. Steph Curry was also great, 9 of 17 field goals, 3 of 9 from deep. And Klay Thompson continues to look really, really healthy, which adds another lethal component to this Warriors team. 26 points, 10 of 18 from the deck, and 3 of 13 from the floor. And Jordan Poole, in the first 3 games of the playoffs, able to set a new playoff record for the most points scored in the history of the NBA playoffs for an individual's first 3 games. 30-piece nugget in Game 1, and then in Games 2 and 3, once again, just an offensive animal on that end of the floor, breaking cats down off the dribble, showing a little bit of wiggle, getting to the cup with some offensive explosion. He's been maybe the most impressive offensive player so far in the playoffs, right alongside Joel Embiid. And right behind him, it's been Steph Curry. Now, what's crazy is that Steph has been coming in off the bench the first 3 games of this playoff series. And a lot of you watching might be saying, continue with the momentum. Continue with this movement. Don't mess anything up right now. Keep Steph Curry coming in off the bench. You can't disrespect him like that. He's going to get back into the starting rotation. Steve Kerr said as much. It's only a matter of time. You can watch Warriors Today on YouTube. You can also kick it with us on Rumble. And sometimes, in some instances, we put videos on Rumble only. So for more exclusive content on the Rumble app, Check us out there, rumble.com/WarriorsTV. Not only are the Warriors better than the Lakers in the conference standings, they're actually playing in the playoffs, whereas the Lakers right now and LeBron James, they are golfing. We're catching up with them in terms of YouTube subscribers, but right now beating them with Rumble followers. 1,500 to 1,200. Let's continue to extend that gap. Rumble.com/WarriorsTV. You can check out more Warriors content on Rumble. Lastly on the show, should the Warriors re-sign Gary Payton II and Kevon Looney? Both of these players are set to be free agents, and both really pivotal to the Warriors culture, and both can be classified as glue guys that are really valuable throughout the midst of a regular season, but also in the playoffs. So Bleacher Report looked at some players that the Warriors need to bring back, and you take a look at what Gary Payton II was able to do this year. Best year of his career, wasn't even close, 7 points per game, was really able to prove himself as a pretty reliable three-point shooter, which he had never really done throughout his career. An uber athlete, rim rocker, rim runner, who at times was thrust into a role in which he had to play in the front court, and despite only being 6'3", 195, was able to hold up against some good forwards and centers. As for Kevon Looney, the lone true center on this roster, the Warriors are able to get everything out of that 6'9", 222-pound frame, and this guy for so long now has flown under the radar, and I think he's been really underrated at the end of the day. 6 points, nearly 8 rebounds this year, while connecting on about 55% of his field goals. Most of those shot opportunities coming around the rim, but an occasional mid-range jumper. Here's what Bleacher Report said about the Warriors having to bring back Kevon Looney. Looney, a 2015 Warriors draft pick and rotation regular for the past half-decade now, crazy how time is flying, remains their best option to throw at bruising centers. 7'4" wingspan helps him play with bigger than his size. His motor perpetually remains full throttle, and at this point, he might have a doctorate in the Dubs way, speaking of the Dubs culture. With Wiseman nothing more than a 7-foot question mark so far, and Golden State limited in its options to pursue a frontline frontcourt player, Looney arguably presents the most compelling case to be the Warriors starting center again next year. Looney, he's been underrated for a really long time. Why is that? He doesn't do anything sexy. He doesn't do anything flashy. And I know we've had these conversations here on the channel a lot about the Warriors needing to upgrade in the front court. It'd be nice, but at this point, it's more of a luxury than it is a need. They don't have a lot of money to play around with if they want to keep this roster intact and pay Jordan Poole, bring back Andrew Wiggins. So that means you can't pay big money to a center. You don't have to pay big money to Kevon Looney. As for Gary Payton II, really found his offensive niche this year, and Bleacher Report pointed that out. Career highs as a 6-year vet, 7 points per game, nearly doubled his previous best, and he made more threes this year, 43, than he did in his first 5 seasons combined, obviously popping back and forth between the NBA and G League, while converting them at pretty respectable clip, nearly 36%. Add insatiable energy and transition attacking to the mix. You get why Golden State would want to bring him back, provided an upside suitor doesn't deem him worthy of a significant splurge. And that last part is pretty interesting. What could the splurge be from another team in the NBA? Could another team offer Gary Payton II $5 to $10 million per year in today's NBA, where positional versatility is certainly valued and him ascending in the right direction, and the salary cap continues to grow in the NBA as well? So because of that, I want to pose this question for the audience. If you could choose one and only one to bring back of Kevon Looney, Gary Payton II, who you rocking with? KL for Kevon Looney, GP for Gary Payton II. Get those votes in. We'll see if the Warriors over the weekend complete the sweep. Bring the brooms out and let's ride.